Hi, thank you for joining us today. My name is Christy. I'm the head of reference at the Dougherty County Public Library. Did you know that an average employer only spends 2.5 seconds reviewing each resume? That's a short amount of time to make a big impression. And right now, with all the furloughs and layoffs due to the virus and our new normal, there's a lot of people looking for a job. Well, here at the library, we want to help that be a little bit easier for you. So today I want to take some time to go over one of the resources we have that will help you prepare for a new job. This is the Dougherty County Public Library's webpage. It's just adocolib.org. And on here we have several resources for job seekers. Some of them we have very easily located by coming over here where it says popular resources, dropping that down, and we see right here career transitions, which is where we're going to spend most of our day today. But before I go there, I want to take a minute to show you another spot. And it's up here under research and learn and under topics. So if we come over here to topics, we'll see a lot of common topics here that people may enjoy or want to know more about. And one of them here we can see is career and job. When I push that down, it's going to show us a couple of different resources here. This top one here, tutor.com, is really good for kids who need studying help, working one-on-one, but they will also review your resumes and your cover letters and give you good suggestions on what you can do to improve them. So as long as you have your library card, you can log on there anytime in between noon and midnight, and a live tutor will be there to go over your paper with you so that you can make the best impression. A second resource we have is Learning Express, and Learning Express has interactive tutorials and tests for a lot of different job areas, including some that walk you through writing resumes. Career Transitions is where we're going to spend the bulk of our time, so right now I'm just going to skip over it for a second. And the last thing I have here under jobs and careers is the Ice House Entrepreneurial Mindset course. And in a couple weeks, we're going to spend a lot of time on this one resource as well. But it's a way to help train your mind and get it ready for that job search. It'll also train your mind so that maybe you can go out on your own and start your own job. So it's a good way to get your mind ready for moving forward. So today we're going to spend a lot of time in career transitions, and I'm going to go there now. And cover letters. When you first get into career transitions, this is what it looks like. And we notice up here at the very, very top, it says to save your information, sign in or create an account. You don't have to create an account. You don't have to sign in. However, if you do, it will save your information. So it'll be there for you the next time you need it. There's also this nice little thing here where it'll take a tour and it'll go through kind of what we're going to go through today for you. The big thing here then is now search jobs, internships, and more. That's right at the top. These are actual jobs from actual employers looking for employees. And you can put in your area code here and it'll pull up jobs that are available in that area. So you can see right here in Albany, we're looking for somebody in the Postal Service, somebody at Procter & Gamble, somebody at UPS. So these are real jobs from real people that need to be filled. When it says add to my jobs, I could save this job so I can look into it later. Like maybe today I'm just looking for jobs. I'm not getting to the applying level. You can just add it into your things that you can go back later and take your time to make sure your application is really good. You'll also notice that these jobs are hosted by Indeed. So if you have an Indeed account, you're getting the same thing that you're getting here from Career Builder. I like using Indeed Career Builder because there's not a lot of those pay me and I'll get you working from home, because those tend to not be real. Back here on the home page, the next thing we have down here is write a resume. And we're going to go over that in some detail in a little bit. It'll show you how to write a resume, and it'll get you a basic one going. And I'll let you know too that a lot of jobs will have you submit your resume and then they'll have an application that asks the exact same questions. Do not write on that application, see resume. Re-answer those questions on the application. Yes, it takes a long time and it's tedious, but that's what they're looking for. And it shows you can follow directions. So here we've got two menus that we can go to. One is to build our resume. The other one is to find examples. Finding these examples is kind of neat. They're split into different job patterns. And each job section is also split into somebody who has a little bit of experience, some experience, and a lot of experience, or somebody that just went with bullet points. So if I'm looking for somebody in information technology, and I might be somebody just starting out, this is kind of what my resume might look like. However, if I was somebody that had a lot of experience, my resume is going to be a little more full, a little more complete. Now, this program will make your resumes kind of basic the way that they look on here. It's just typed out, very basic. But you'll be able to download it and put it into a program where you can format it the way that you want it formatted. Although I think the information is going to be the same either way. So we're going to look at build resume. I've always heard too that you want a resume for each job that you are applying for. If they're in different fields, maybe. I know one time I was unemployed. I was a teacher at the time. And so I had jobs in at schools. I had jobs in with sales positions. I had jobs in that needed adult educators. And I had one at the library. Well, that was 4 different areas of employment. And in those 4 areas of employment, I had 4 different resumes that I would submit that were geared to show how my strength as a teacher would fit their jobs. So when you're starting the resume, the first part of it's always going to be the same and simple. You're just filling out your contact information. Emails. Make sure that your email is something professional. You don't want it to be too cute to be hot. That's not very professional. And you want something that's going to look like you're serious about this job you're trying for. A lot of people will get a Google account. They're free. Mail.com is free. And you can do it as simple as your first name, dot your last name with some numbers most of the time. Professional link. This is for those of you who have used LinkedIn before. You can add that link on there. I personally have a website that shows some of my strengths on it. So I might put a link to my website on there so that they can get on there and see my work samples. Any of those kind of links on there. Don't put like a link to your Facebook, especially if your Facebook is not a professional type. However, if you're an Instagrammer, you're looking for a photography job, your Instagram account might be very appropriate for that. So when I hit next, it's showing me right here all the information that I just put in there. I have a chance to look at it, double check it. I like it. It's what I want it to be. If not, I could have hit edit. So I'm going to go on to my next section. And it tells me summary is my next section. This I'm going to use my certification and medical office experience to provide superior service to customers as a medical assistant. So this is where you're putting what you're looking for. But what you're looking for needs to be kind of what they need. So you're going to kind of tailor it in this spot. Me personally says something about work ethic. And then I have examples about my work ethic and my bullet points that prove that I am who I said I was in that first part. That I'm looking somewhere that my job skills will be appreciated. Next part is experience. Your experience, you're going to go through and list all the jobs that you've had previously that are relevant to the job that you're applying for. You want to start with the most recent job first. So I would start in the career I am right now. So when I get right here, I'll put when I started, what month and year, but I haven't left my career yet. So right here, I want to click this current career, and they'll be able to see that I am still employed at that job. The bullet points after I put that are things to list what I did at my job, listing like maybe the 3 most important things I did. If I needed more bullet points, I could have them here. So here I've made something, I put my job and my experience. Remember, we want to list at least 3 is what I tell people, or the past 7 years of job history. If you've worked at 7 different jobs, that might be a bit much, but you want to put enough there to show that you have a little bit of experience, or if you don't have experience, a way to make it look better. So here I could add another experience where I would put the second job I was at when I started and ended that. Then you would hit save, go on. When you get through all that part, it'll ask for next and you move on to skills. All right, skills are where you're highlighting your knowledge, your tools, your technologies. You're going to take care to list items that are directed to the job which we are applying for. So if I am applying for a job as a librarian, I need not say that my best skill is that I play the violin, because those 2 things are completely unrelated. However, saying that I'm certified in Microsoft Office would be completely relevant to library's position or any office position, probably any position that involves using a computer. CPR certified. I use that a lot with school, but again, in my library setting, it may not be as important. So the skills you're going to list there are ones that you have that are relevant towards what you're doing. Education, you're putting down any and all schools that you have attended post-secondary. Some job applications will ask for your high school school, so you're more than welcome to put that on there. But most of the time what it's looking for is what kind of collegiate training you've had, what your degree was in those areas. The bullet points here then I say are for things that stood out there, rewards you might have received, recognitions. Memberships and affiliates. These are groups that you are a part of that can highlight your experience still. Saying that I'm a Boy Scout leader and I want a job checking water meters, it may not be as relevant. So memberships and affiliations will go here. Awards and honors, you want them to be actual awards, actual honors. I can't think of a bad example right now, but you really want to highlight things that you have done well and that you were recognized for it. The last thing on here now is your references. References can be kind of tricky. A lot of times when I'm submitting my resume, unless the job asked for references with the resume, I would submit something that says references available upon request. If they ask for them, then yeah, by all means, I would submit it and have it right there in it. But I go back and forth in between that. Once you filled out all parts of these and all these check marks are done, you will be able to preview and download your resume. Next one here is writing a cover letter. Again, it'll get your basic wood started. So writing a cover letter path is similar to the writing a resume path. Writing a cover letter, again, has 2 sections just like the resume. The first section has where we're actually going to write it. The second one has examples. Again, if I go to the examples, we'll be able to see other cover letters in various different jobs. And we also get to see whether they have some experience, a lot of experience, or little. I'll choose one right here in the center. We can see here it's set up like a letter. We've got the address and information at the side. This is what it's regarding, the person's name, and they have the 3 standard paragraphs with the closing statement. And that's a good looking cover letter. So now we're going to learn how to do this ourselves. So we're going to go to write a cover letter and get started. The first things it's going to start with is our information again, so that we can go ahead and make that top part. All right, so there we can see I've got it saved up here is my contact info. So now I'm going to go to write a cover letter. Now it's set up here in the same parts that we saw in the cover letter. So up here, you're going to put the title off of the application, or not the application. We're going to put the title on the job description, or if there was a number associated with it. So this letter needs to be unique to every job that you apply for. So up here, they might be playing for musicians aid. You're going to put today's date, and notice that drops down for us. Now you get to choose your greeting. Dear hiring manager, dear sir, dear madam, or we can write our own greeting. This is really good, especially if you know the person's name. You'll want to write your own, more than dear human resources or to whom it may concern. Try to find out their name. If not, these standard greetings are just fine. Introduction. If we're not sure what we want to put in our introduction, there's these little get help sections. So over here on the side where it says get help, it says your introductory paragraph should consist of 2 to 3 short sentences. The first sentence, identify the position in which you're applying and make reference to your resume being attached to your message. In the following sentences, speak of your interest in the position, company, and or highlight your experience or background in a general positive statement. A lot of times, if you're going somewhere across state, this is an excellent spot, or across the nation even, to put why it is that you're willing to work so far away from where you currently live. Your next section then says the main section should state directly what your qualifications are and why they are relevant to the position and company to which you're applying. Study the job posting for keywords, description of duties, and tailor your writing to include them, though not for word. Highlight your skills, demonstrate your knowledge of the employer's business and goals. That part, you're going to take a little bit of research. Find out what the company is looking for in their employee. Put that in there. Try to stay away from some of the buzzwords that were popular about 5-6 years ago, where people said that they were website gurus or wizards of something, or you want to stick with actual words they have. And again, if you get stumped, you can look at the examples to see what words were used in there. In the conclusion, you are going to be short and to the point, that you're excited about working for the company, that your qualifications fit, and that you want an interview and why. Above all, your enthusiasm and initiative shine through. If you follow these tips, and then it's got choose your signature, a couple of real standard ones there, or you can write your own. And then try to sign those unless it's a digital application, in which case you can just attach it. Once you fill all this out, you can hit save and it's going to save it. And then you can preview or download it, and that'll put it into a Word document or a text file that you can edit further if you need to. And that will be how you get your cover letter going. And the examples, they look just like the ones that are here in these examples. Once you finish it all out, this person has just a little bit experience, and an assistant reporter is what they're looking for. So in this first paragraph, you can see they're talking about the field. They're talking about how important they know it is to that company to find what they want. And she knew that she was that person for it. Going on to the middle part, she talks about the business's reputation. She talks about the fast-paced newsroom, which allows her to apply what she has learned, and that she has immersed herself in platforms which will enable her. So she's showing why she has the skills that were posted. At the end, she says she wants to meet and discuss with them, and that she will call you around noon to try to arrange to visit the station. And then she sincerely ends it. So yours would look similar to this when you fill it all out. The next section we're going to look at in career transitions is this tips and advice. Get tips about resumes, applying, and interviews. Before we actually go to that, I wanted to show you that down here at the bottom, they have daily tips as well. So this is the Daily Leap Career Video of the Week, Overcoming Imposter Syndrome. This is a common thing, especially with people that are new to management, where they feel like they're in a position where they have authority, but they don't feel that authority just yet. So they're going to share news, advice related to career, life development, searching for a job, economy, employment, and other related topics. So there's an article, there's a video right here that looks like 4 or 5 of them to go through and help you. Best advice in writing your resume, job hunting tips, weaknesses. That's actually a really good video, the weaknesses one. Then up here, there's this get tips and advice section. When we get here, it breaks it down into the different fields. So if you wanted help on starting your own business, let's say, right here it says entrepreneurship. And then it's got information here about top self-employment careers. It's got a video on how to start a business. We come down a little further and it's got a list of work-at-home jobs, how to start a business online, how to start consulting, how to start a franchise. And I'm going to plug again, in a couple weeks, we're going to have the entrepreneur course, which will talk about getting your mindset ready for starting your own business. So those are articles that can help you with that. If we head back here, we can say that we want help making sure that our cover letters and resumes are good. And here's an article on writing an effective cover letter. Up here at the top is kind of what I alluded to in the cover letter, was never write a generic cover letter. Each letter should be specifically aimed towards a company or a job and to an individual hiring manager, and try to find their names. So you want to make sure that person, you're connecting with them on a personal level, not just a business level. So there's templates here. More information about promoting transferable skills, and we'll talk about that later in this video. Talking about why you were unemployed for a period. That's a common problem, and a lot of people need to know how to come over that. And it goes on and on, different formats. Plus, there's little videos all down the side. And these little videos, each of them offers a little tidbit. They're usually about 2 minutes long, not very long. And the information they provide is priceless, honestly, to help you get a job. For this last part of our getting a new job section is interview simulation. He says his name's Ken, and he's going to be our guide as we prepare for our interview. And he's talking about behavioral interviews. It's going to help us prepare by using a STAR system, which is describing past relevant situations, defining tasks, explaining actions, and stating results. So I'm going to hit continue. It gives us an interview here of what to do before the interview, during the interview, and after the interview. And it'll score us as we go. Up here at the top, there are tools. These are little icons that they use throughout the simulation for you to remember, that's going to help make this a little more success, like the volume, being able to turn the audio on and off, replaying questions, reading about more features, leaving the simulation, Click that icon to read the transcript of your interview, which means when it's over, you can see it all. Click this one to learn about elements on a particular screen. Moving on. So we're going to hit this little X right up here. This asks us if we have a little bit of work experience or if we have more. We'll start with little. Preparing for our interview. You're going to research your employer in advance of the interview. They've already done it for us on this. Take a moment to review the provided information about the hiring organization, job opening, and your profile. So right here, it's telling us about the organization. This is the job description that you're applying for. And here right now is what it's telling you about yourself. And then you can start. Continue to move forward. This is kind of neat because it's not just us talking to it. It tells us here what part of Affinity Tech are we relating to or that we're most interested in. It says click any option to read the entire response. Your response is not final until you click the submit button. So here I can read everything that it said, and you'll know that they have gone through to talk about the people. They know who the owners are and what they have done. This one talks about an award they earned, how the award would be relevant to them earning awards. And this one talks about their work ethic. So let's just submit that one. Notice again, it's going to submit, and this is how it's going to keep going. So if you're not familiar with interview process, you'll see some good answers within this, and this will give you feedback as you go as well. We're not going to do the whole simulation right now, but it is a nice practice for those that get real nervous or uncomfortable. There's also an area here, if maybe you're not so pleased where you're at or the job you have and you want to change, this right here will help you decide maybe what you can change to. This first one, assess your career interest, literally has a quiz going through and you just answer as honestly as you feel. So would I be interested in building kitchen cabinets? Maybe. Would I like to conduct chemical experiments? Probably not so much. Draw pictures? Yeah, I would love to draw pictures. So I could go through and answer all of these questions. And when I get all the way down to the end of it, it'll have a list of different careers that it thinks that I'm well suited to do and apply for. Once you get that list, you'll also be able to go in to see how much those careers make. You can browse career paths. This might be for somebody who really just doesn't know what they want to do. They just know they need a job. Their test maybe gave them something that they're okay with, not in love with, and we're looking for that job that's going to make it that you're not working a day in your life, right? So this right here will go over some of the common jobs. So I'm going to go government and public administration. When I click on that, we will see right here that it's got several jobs that are available. Normally, they will tell you the salary, about how many people are employed, and how much that job is expected to grow. Looking at this, though, these first ones are military type jobs, and they can't give us that information. But when we get down here to coroners, a coroner, they make around $62,000 average Right now, there are about 260,000 of them across the United States, and they're expecting that field to grow by 31%. So it may not be a bad job to look for. You can go through and look for some other ones if you're not sure. Legislators, well, they do a lot. They only make about 38,000 annually. There's only about 67,000 jobs, and there's less than 1% group, a 1% growth. So that may not be a job that you want to look into because it doesn't look like there's going to be a lot going on. Same with meter readers and utilities. They're expecting that growth to decrease by 20%. So they may be laying people off. Same with postmasters here. Although we saw in Albany they're hiring one, it may not be a good one to plan a lot into. If you pick a career, let me go back to, let's do a postmaster. I clicked on that job, and again, it tells me up here the average salary, the expected growth, what kind of education you need for that job. So a postmaster or a mail superintendent only needs a high school diploma or their GED. So overview of their job. You come down, and here's a list of things. You come down here, and there's a list of things that are typical of the average postmaster or mail superintendent. A list of tools that they would normally use. They don't have any available for this one. Here is a career video, which might go into more detail about what it is they do. And the career ladder, which shows you how you could climb. Or in this case, not climb. All right, we're going to go back to home. Besides browsing the career paths, matching experience to new careers. If you have served in the military or you have military work experience, or any kind of work experience, really, you can in here put, I worked as, let's say I've been a teacher. So I type that in here. What is popping up down here are jobs similar to what I'm typing that I'll need to choose from. So if I've worked as a teacher and educator, all of these jobs are jobs that I could easily switch over to because the prerequisites, the understanding of the job are quite similar. So it might be a good sideways move to make. And it does the same thing with military experience. And finally, this last one is if I've got a job that I'm going to need some more education for that I want to do, maybe I just wanted to do a complete 180 and change to something else, I could find a list of school with courses related to library science, and I can say within 50 miles of where I am, or I could say by state. Hit search. I'm going to have to go more than 50. There we go. Within 100 miles, there are 2 schools that have library science degrees within there that I could look into going to. I know Career Transitions has a lot in it and a lot to cover. And today all we did was kind of glance through some of the services it provides. And looking for a new job or a new career is almost a full-time job and career in itself. So take a deep breath, relax a little, and get organized. It's going to be the best in the long run. With Career Transitions, if you log in, you'll have a record of all the resumes that you've made and all the cover letters that you made. You'll also have a record if you log through jobs through them or Indeed and log in. You'll know where you have applied to. If it doesn't show in Indeed, it makes you go to that person's site. You'll want to keep a spreadsheet of who you applied to so you know when to follow up appropriately. Just know that we're here to help you. If you need guidance on this resume part, you need help understanding how to use career transitions, you can come into the library and we can help show you how to do all of that. And through one of our other sources, tutor.com, they'll actually sit down with you and go through your resume once you build it and to make sure it's the best it can be. They'll do it with your cover letter as well. So good luck, and hopefully we've given you some good help and hints today.